Yeah. Okay. That's fun. It's live, though, my friends. It's live. Yeah. No. Do that again. 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? Happy Friday. Good to see you on here. I just want to talk guitar, give you an update of what's happening in my life on Guitargate. We got some big things going on. And hear from you. Brian Carpenter, good morning. Jason, good to see you. Sharpest, good vibes, good to see you. Michael, guitar friend. Tim, nice verb. Yeah, man, always the verb. If I have one effect, a single, solitary, only effect in my life, it's reverb. Just a touch. That was a lot, but just reverb. Tom Sawyer, good to see you. Palm mute that she, of course. Dakota, good to see you. No, I have not gotten my hands on a Dead Spec Silver Sky. Joey, good to see you. Would love a little support. Joey, how am I supposed to support you? What do you have for me? What do you have? Guitar friend Tim, hybrid picking. That's right. Tucson Blues, good to see you. Brian Carpenter, question. When using a looper pedal, what would be a simple but interesting bass to lay down and improvise over? Any fundamental logic to what to play? Yeah. Okay. So, Brian, to answer your question, I'll make a new loop. So here's something that I feel a lot of people struggle with. And that's they feel like when they make a loop, they got to play the whole track. And the point of a loop is really to layer. So, for example, let's say I'm doing something in A minor, right? I could make a loop doing something like it would just sound really busy, okay? The better thing to do with the loop pedal is to subdivide those into little parts, like a bass part, or like a drum kind of sounding part, and then like a harmonic part. So let's say if I keep that groove, like first step through, okay? Maybe I just do the chord and let it ring out, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And then maybe this time, right? Then maybe an upper part. Then you'd like a lead over. Right? And what happens obviously is it's hard and you screw up the loops, right? Because sometimes it's just like the click is easy and sometimes it's challenging. And so like it's easy to get the timing right. I always find that whenever I like to click the loop, I like to not play. I like to hear the beat in my head, and then hit it, right? Because it makes it more succinct. That one was not perfect, but you get the idea. Brian, that's what I would call fundamental logic for loops. Okay, let's see here. Adam, thank you so much for the super chat. Would you do a lesson vid in the style of Susan Tedeschi? I love Susan Tedeschi. Susan is a blues player and singer at heart. If you have a great Susan Tedeschi track that you would like me to review, email it to me at support@guitargate.com. I would, or if you're a member on Guitargate, even better, drop it in the Reacts request page. That would be the best. I would love to. Jackson, when recording clean rhythm guitars, how do you make the decision to record separate takes in stereo versus just using the mono and the signal in the mix? All right, Jackson, I am not the right one to ask this question because I have not done much engineering. But the obvious answer is to just use your ears. If you want to make a spread and have something sound wide, you don't just put it in the middle. You have something in the left and something in the right. And whenever you have those things a little bit different, or even like old school Van Halen style, where they have the guitar on one side and the reverb on the other side, it just creates this large sonic landscape. And it's very interesting. It's a very good habit to try to think wide in an audio mix instead of always everything right down the center. But I do not have a lot of experience engineering. Okay. Spooky Rufus, what's going on in your mind while you're improvising? Are you thinking chords, hitting chord tones, playing the changes? Or are you just thinking more of the lines of scales or just muscle memory? So Spooky Rufus, it's obviously all of those. It's always a combination of things I've always played that I know work, digging into the bag, the lick bag that, always works. It's trying something new that I've been focusing on. It's always thinking chords and chord tones and triads, always. And then as far as playing the changes, it's always a dance between am I saying a lot about each chord or am I saying a little about each chord? But you better believe I'm always thinking about the notes in the chords. Okay. Drew Davis, any tips for motivating and inspiring guitar students who are struggling? Man, honestly, the biggest thing is just to get people to keep, I say it all the time, picking it up and keeping it in their hands. And the more they play, whatever they play, they are going to get better. One way to do that, a loop pedal. If you encourage people to not just practice scales or practice chords or even learn songs, if you just get them in the habit of playing with themselves with a loop pedal, they'll find that they'll end up playing and messing around for hours that they otherwise wouldn't, just because the very nature of it, of making something in real time and stacking and having it be imperfect, you're going to tinker with it. You're going to mess with it. And it's going to make people create instead of just absorb. And I find that makes people play more. Like I tell everybody, like if you get one pedal, get a tuner. If you get a second pedal, get a loop pedal. Period. Because you'll play more. Okay. Let's see. James, thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate you. Would you ever consider a live reaction vid like the latest one from Zach Bryan's Belting Broncos series? Yes. So, James, I used to do those all of the time, and we had tremendous issues doing them on live streams with copyright and getting the streams taken down. But if you have a video that you want me to react to and you'd like me to do it like a live video, you can email me at support@guitargate.com. But even better, again, if you're a member on Guitargate, I have a whole Reacts request page, and I give those priority because those are the people that support the channel by taking my lessons and courses. And so that's the best way to do it. But thank you. On that note, let me take this opportunity to tell you what's going on Guitargate. And then I'm going to get back to your questions because it's cool and it's different. Everybody sells courses and everybody has membership sites and everybody's like, what's the difference? How could it possibly be any different? Well, the answer is the community. The answer is, do you play more? Do you play more? And so I will say that our community is the X factor, okay? But because if you log in every day and you see people working on stuff, you'll increase the likelihood that you, in fact, will work on stuff. Same concept of going to a gym. You see people working out, you're probably going to stay and get on a machine. And even if you just walk on the machine instead of your whole plan, you still got your ass to the gym that day and did something. That's the point of community. That's why I built it as a community. But on the content side, these new masterclasses are going to be live every weekday. So, and they're live now. And check out the lineup. I have on Mondays, Jamie McLean. He was the guitarist in the Dirty Dozen brass band. Played with all these heavy hitters down in New Orleans. Super funk, just an ultra inspiring guy and an incredible singer too. On Tuesdays, we have Jack Roosh. Now, Jack is just a super Nashville heavy hitter, one of the most melodic and inspiring players ever. You probably follow his YouTube channel. If you don't, do it. On Wednesdays, Lyle Brewer. Lyle plays in the band Neighbor, for all you guys that follow the jam scene, and he's also a professor at Berkeley. Again, super heavy hitter. Thursday, Guthrie Trapp. Just, again, I can't overuse the word heavy hitter. but one of Nashville's finest guitar players and just a personality that you cannot stop. Just a no BS person who cuts right through the mix. And then me, I'm on Fridays. I'm today at 2. So for all of you that work out and have a Peloton or something like that, same concept. Every day, one of us is live. The goal is we bring one thing for you to work on. Talk about that one thing for half an hour, then open it up for Q&A. You can ask whatever you want, and you can even click a button that says join on screen and join on screen and say, hey, show me this thing. I'm working on this. What am I doing wrong? And you can talk to all 5 of us live each week. Pretty sweet. And for those of you that can't make it live, they're all pre-recorded, and you can actually post a video completing the thing showed in that lesson and then get feedback on it from each of us. Very cool. And it's only about $1 a day. And so these are guys that you can't get really lessons with. It's really hard. And I've gotten them to agree to come every week and bring something unique that builds on itself every week. So if you dig that, there's a link in the description. It just launched this week to the public. I'd love to have you. I'd love to see you today too. That's my little sales pitch. Back to your questions. Okay. Tonic, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, Josh is in the masterclass. Love it. Love it. Brian, any advice for hand finger warm-ups and stretches? I've been playing more and more and my hands are getting sore by the end of practicing. Brian, every single day, I do what I outline in the guitar training course on Guitargate. And I'll just show you. I should have done it a second ago, but I will show you, and I'll show you exactly the types of things that we work on. So here I am, go to courses and the guitar training course. So check this out. So I do this every single day. I just did it. And I'll give you an example. Exercise 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, up and down. We all know this alternate picking. Then up 1, down 1. You got the up 1, down 1 with string skipping. Spider crawl. And even more, right? It just keeps going. I got a whole course on that. But the whole point is that you warm up every day. Oh, let me minimize this somehow. You warm up every day, and you take it slowly with the metronome, and you gradually bump up your BPM. You also stretch. You stretch, you stretch, you stretch. And that process of both of those things, of just getting in the used to a gradual warm-up with a click and stretching, is what I do and I recommend every day. If your hands are sore by the end of practicing, just know that what you're probably doing is playing for too much time instead of not enough times. I'll say it, I'll preach it from the mountains if you'll let me. It is about repetition and not duration. For all of you out there that are playing for 2 hours a day at a clip, just burning through it. 30 minutes, 4 times a day will get you way farther, right? For all of you that are beginning and you're just like, man, an hour, even a half an hour a day is really hard because I'm just really struggling making these beginning chords. 5 minutes, work on the chord, go do something else. Come back, 5 minutes, work on it, go do something else. Come back, 5 minutes, and then eventually you'll have it. Just like anything else in life, it's repetition, repetition, repetition. Okay. 7 Nation Army, please. I need to get another guitar. I had to sell mine. Yeah. Hopefully I get to go to the Ravens game this weekend. Thank you so much, Bear. Bear Elias. Do you have any Danish musicians you listen to? Probably. Not that nothing comes to mind. Semi, you rock. You inspire me. You inspire me. Yes, Roach. Of course, I'll be in Pantera 224. Will you be there? Shoot me a email. Shoot me a DM. Let's connect. Okay. Christian, when playing through the changes, sometimes notes in the present chord are not diatonic to the song. How does this work? Do I solo notes of the present chord only, or the chord tones of the overall key? So, Christian, it is a balance, okay? It is both. The best way, how do I say this? The best thing to do, okay, is hear a tonal center, but choose to say something about each of the chords. So let's say, what are two chords that generally wouldn't go together? We'll make an extreme example. We'll do A major to C major. In no key do you have A major to C major. Check this out. So you got so I'm hearing each one of these. Like this seems like a departure from A, and A seems back home. Okay? But I'm clearly gonna have to think A major chord and then a C major chord. Right? A has a C sharp in it. C has it. C natural in it. Okay? So you're gonna watch out for that. But you're really so again, that was an extreme example. I probably shouldn't have chosen that one. I'm feeling spicy today. But there isn't, like, everybody's always looking for, like, this is the one thing. This is the way, right? And it's really like, start with the notes in the chord. Start with, okay, it's A. Right? And just look at the notes in the chord and start by adding notes around that chord and use your ear. Use a basic pentatonic first approach, okay? Don't think like the whole mode and just right? And just know that if a chord is being played, that harmony is the harmony. It exists, right? The context is king, and you have to acknowledge it. But it's a choice how much you acknowledge it. Okay, yeah, that's right. No right answer. It's art, baby. Let's see. Les O'Connor, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are the best. Would you recommend trying learning to play with fingers instead of picked? Love the Mateo video. Yeah, monster. Have always struggled using the pick. Prefer to use fingers to strum, thumb, index to pick notes. I recommend people to start with electric guitar and to pick because it's generally the easiest for most people. But that is by no means, no stretch of the imagination, gospel at all. Like this is, Tonic, what's going on with large files? Yeah. Josh, Tonic will definitely help you with that. Okay, so if you feel comfortable using your fingers, use your fingers. It's a different sound, but there's so much more control. Josh, no, this is not in lieu of the 2 p.m. class. I will be there at 2 today. It's its own sound. It's its own feel. By all means, use your fingers if you want. I always wanted to play heavy music, and so I always wanted to use a pick. But if that's not your bag, it's not your bag. There you go. Hybrid picking, the key to success. I don't think I would say hybrid picking is the key to success on guitar. Or maybe you're asking, what's the key to success in hybrid picking? Either way, what makes hybrid picking hybrid, what makes it different is that you start thinking like a piano. The whole point in musical growth for me as a guitar player was to get out of guitar land and start thinking like other instruments do. And that's to think about what are the notes in the chord. And when you hybrid pick, you automatically, just by the physical nature, you start thinking about root notes, bass notes, and triads. That's what happens, right? That's what you do when you hybrid pick. So when you start thinking with both hands about the root note and the triad, right? Then they all get, it just gets connected. You start thinking about harmony in both hands. And once you start doing that, you really can't go back. Welcome all the new people. I see there's a lot of people jumping in here. I'm going to, just because we're on the topic, I'm going to share this again just to let people know because why not? Little promotion never hurt anybody. But that's what this course is all about. The hybrid picking roadmap. That's what it's all about. And if you read it, it shows you like what I focus on, like all these different inversions for each strings, the closest moves for each strings, essential double stops, applying it to songs, and then taking leads in string sets with pedal steel bends and stuff. That right there, taking leads in string sets, that when you do that as a hybrid picker, boy, am I telling you, it's hard to go backwards. Similar to what we were doing before, this E, D. Just thinking about your triads going up the neck and then taking leads. So I'm going to stay on this 3-2-1 string set, right? And I'm going to think E major to D, E major to D, E major, D, E major, D. As you can see, there's only 3 choices. If you have 3 notes in a chord and we're limiting ourselves to 3 strings, there's only going to be 3 places to play any of these shapes, right? You got this shape to this shape, this shape to this shape, and this shape to this shape, which is the same here. And then it just repeats. So when you get used to soloing like that, not just doing rhythm parts, boy, you just don't go the other way, in my experience. And so breaking things down into triads, dyads, and hybrid picking. So you're thinking in terms of chord tones with this hand. It just doesn't seem to go the other way. Okay. Good almost afternoon. Let's see. Yeah, I am not a shredder or sweeper, I should say. Those guys blow my mind. Jared, man, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. He says, new viewer here. Big fan of your reaction vids. Love to see you check out Peach Pit. Lead guitar is so much fun to play on their songs. Keep it up. Jared, again, I would love to. Shoot me an email or a DM, or even better, if you're a member on Guitargate, drop it into the Reacts request page. Again, why not? We're sharing a lot. I'll share some more. So if you're a member on Guitargate, go to this Reacts button. Come on. This whole thing, you get all my videos ad-free, but then down here, you get to request them, okay? And so all of these are ones that members have requested. And when I do one, you see this, I get this reacted to thing that goes to, right? So the last one was James Blunt Monsters. And you'll also get an email when that happens. That's my little thank you for everybody that takes my lessons and courses. That's it. Peter, do you go over open tunings or alternate tunings at all? Does that thing change up a lot? Yeah, it does. It changes it up a lot. I do not teach open and alternate tunings for the sole reason that I think the purpose of alternate tunings, I want to tread lightly here, but for most people, is to force them to turn their brain off and play new things, right? They feel stuck in a rut. Throw it in open G. Throw it in, and just your muscle memory easily is immediately is not going to apply. You're going to force yourself to use your ear, and you're just going to figure new things out, right? But then you're always going to relate it back to theory you understand, whether it's the piano or standard tuning. I think that's the right approach. I want you to explore alternate tunings, not really dissect and learn them as the primary place that you're always going back to. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see. Thanks, Crooks. Cheers from France. Love you too. I don't have any 6 sweeps. I do mini sweeps. I do these like. I don't do all the. I can't do that. But these little. Like triplet sweeps, like triplet triad sweeps, like. Not even really 4 notes. I really don't even do 4-string sweeps. Just little touches of one in there. Okay. You're the only other person I've seen who uses the Horizon Red Silver Sky. It's my favorite color, and I'm so sad they discontinued that color. Tyler, I didn't know they discontinued the color. I love this thing. It's the most fun guitar I have. It really is. Yeah, Phil. It has its pluses and minuses. Cage is a great learning tool and helps you understand the fretboard in easy fashion. Yeah, Tonic, by the way, if you guys didn't know, Tonic is one of our moderators, and he's on all of our, or most of our masterclass live streams too. And I love bringing up Guthrie because Guthrie he mentions this all the time, and he's just like, I hate why people call it caged. Caged is just the way the guitar has always been tuned. From the beginning of the guitar, standard tuning is the caged system. It's like there's a naturally occurring shape that looks like C, A, G, E, and D. There are 5 naturally occurring shapes that exist regardless of key. It is just how the guitar is tuned. And I firmly believe that that is the best way to begin to show people how to learn the neck and then go on from there, as opposed to coming at it from a purist standpoint, where it's kind of where we don't learn shapes first and you teach it the same way you would teach any instrument, not just a fretted instrument. I believe you got to get people over initial physical hurdles first, because it's hard on guitar, the initial physical hurdles, and then show them how to make these big shapes smaller. So I'm a firm believer in the cage system, because it really is just how the guitar is tuned. David, I appreciate that. I really, really do. Hud, thanks for the donation, man. Really appreciate you guys. He said, I struggle with constantly needing validation. How do you tell yourself you're good enough and that you can play? Not you specifically, because you're obviously awesome on guitar. I am totally guilty of this. All of us are. And the answer is very simple but difficult, like everything else in life. This is a self-esteem question. Self-esteem is earned by setting goals, doing something difficult, and reaching those goals, and then immediately setting other goals. That is the way. So if you are not doing the work to get better at something difficult, you're just going to be needing validation from other people that it's okay, or it's really hard, or you're a really good player, even though you know they don't know that you've been playing the same licks for 5 years, right? It's the same exact thing. Like this comment that you added at the bottom here, not you specifically, because you're obviously awesome at guitar. Yeah, but I'm still playing stuff that is worn out and tired to me. And I know that if I don't keep going back to the well and adding things that are difficult and working on it and feeling that awesome sense of achieving something that I couldn't do before, that I would rest on my laurels. I would want validation from other people. But since I'm proving it to myself as a habit, the older I get, like the more that I don't need that, because I've reached so many goals so many times that were really hard for me, like learning to read music or learning music theory when I went to school. I went to music school without knowing music theory or how to read at all. Like really hard for me. And so but just building those habits over time to take on hard things because you're choosing to grow in a certain area is the way. And the more you do that, the less you're going to need and care about if other people think you're good or not, because you'll have proven it to yourself and you'll have the calluses to prove it, right? You'll have a recording to prove it. You'll be able to feel it in your body because you did it. That's the way. Kilgore Trout. I love your name. I hope that's your God-given name. Guitargate member here. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for being on Guitargate. Why is there no circle of fifth for minor keys? There is. I'm not sure why you say that. And I don't really understand there is. The circle of fifth is not key dependent. I'm sorry, I am totally not following. Maybe there's something in particular, like you just don't ever see. Let's look. Let's search. Circle of fifths, minor chords. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same. I just maybe you weren't looking at it, but the circle of fifths applies to the root of the chord, the distance between any interval, right? It's a fifth interval movement. It is not like talking about the quality of the chord. All right. Oh, the tits now for $5, Alex. Oh my gosh. Best SNL skit ever. Ted Green's books. I have not, but I am familiar with them. Tom, watching you react to that Buffalo Deal Soul was so much fun, man. Would love to see more acoustic lessons. Tom, one, I appreciate the donation, and two, I need to do more acoustic ones. Drop one in the request field. I'll do one. I need to do one. You're totally right. And on that note, I want to add an acoustic instructor to these master classes coming up soon. If there's anybody that comes to mind that you see on YouTube that is clearly someone who's committed to making content on the internet, let me know. Jason, man, you guys are so generous. Thank you. Says, much gratitude. Have you heard the new Marcus King single yet? Love the arrangement. Have a great weekend. No, I haven't. But I feel like I saw the thumbnail floating through YouTube. I will absolutely check that out. Jason, I appreciate you. Okay, my friends, I'm going to leave it there. One more plug for the master classes. I want to make sure you all know about it. This is brand new. I am not aware of a lot of my fellow online teachers doing something like this, but the idea is very simple. Live group lessons every weekday with the ability to join on screen, watch after the fact, and post videos for feedback. So really interactive here. The goal being to get everybody to log on and keep the guitar in their hands and play. Here's what it looks like. If you go on to Guitargate and you log on, you'll see your dashboard, and it shows you what masterclass is next, what video I just posted, where you are in your courses, recent React request, all your activity of everybody else. Again, you walk into a gym, you see activity, people are on the bike, you get your ass on a bike. Very simple. That's what I'm trying to do. Masterclasses. So I'm the next one. I'm today at 2 hour and 59 minutes, 38, 37, 36 seconds. So you have your upcoming ones, all your recent ones from the past week. And then you have me, you have Lyle Brewer. Look, Lyle's teaching country string bends, outlining chords with arpeggios. Jack, minor chord progression, secondary dominance. Guthrie Trapp, Jamie McLean doing a lot of, he does a lot of great New Orleans things like New Orleans chords and rhythms and blues soloing approaches. Very cool. So if you're interested, again, this is a brand new thing. I'd love to have you. It's a great way to support the channel and yourself, to get yourself in the habit of doing something every day that forces you to pick the guitar up and keep it in your hands. If that interests you, it's about $1 a day. And I really hope to see you there. That's my little pitch. Thanks for joining me on this live stream. Thanks for everybody that donated. Thanks for all you that watch and support this channel and making it, I think, just the most welcoming and encouraging guitar channel here on YouTube. I love you all. Have an excellent day. Cheers.